Hello, welcome to another edition of Crop Life Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of Crop Life and Crop Life Iron magazines, here again with my partner in crime, Lara Sowinski. Laura, how you doing today?
Fine, thank you. Thank you, Eric. As we begin this week's Retail Week recording, we wanted to reflect upon and acknowledge the horrific events unfolding in Israel and Gaza. We at Meister Media Worldwide and Crop Life are heartbroken by the violence leading to innocent lives lost and forever changed by acts of terrorism and crimes against humanity. We stand in solidarity with the people impacted, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families, friends, and colleagues around the world and who are now facing the unthinkable.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Yes, so yes, of course, our hearts go out to everyone around the world, and particularly in Israel, that are dealing with this situation. So,
yeah, thank you. So we have some news items today. Actually, I'll start with one that stood out for me this week. Reuters reported on October 17th that Arkansas has ordered Syngenta to sell 160 acres of farmland in the state within 2 years. The reason is because the company is Chinese-owned. However, and not surprisingly, Syngenta defended its ownership of that farmland. U.S. farms, according to Reuters, and lawmakers are increasingly scrutinizing foreign land ownership due to concerns about national security. Governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee, said at a news conference, quote, "This is about where your loyalties lie." Again, not surprisingly, Syngenta was disappointed with the decision, calling it a short-sighted action that will hurt Arkansas farmers. Specifically, the company owns about 1,500 acres of U.S. agricultural land for research, development, and regulatory trials on products that are used by U.S. farmers, according to a company spokesman. This was noteworthy. The order is Arkansas's first enforcement action under a state law passed this year that prohibits certain foreign parties from acquiring or holding land. China is among the prohibited parties because it is subject to U.S. arms export controls known as the International Traffic in Arms Regulations, ITAR. Swiss agricultural company Syngenta was bought for $43 billion by ChemChina in 2017, as most in the industry know, and was folded into Sinochem Holdings Corp. In 2021. Foreign persons, according to the USDA, held an interest in approximately 40 million acres of U.S. agricultural land as of the end of last year. That was 3.1% of all privately held agricultural land and 1.8% of all land. China had less than 1% of foreign held land, while Canadian investors had 31%. I thought this was, I've actually been following even in the mainstream news. There's been concerns not only in Arkansas, which, again, this was their first formal move under this new rule, but in Texas, where I now reside, similar concerns have been raised. I think Arizona is another state. I'm kind of watching these types of things start to make the mainstream news as well. So that kind of stood out for me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like you say, how what happens and what goes forward with these type of efforts. So,
absolutely, yep.
All right. Well, hey, I got some news to share, so let me take over for a moment here. We got some consolidation news, I guess completion of something we talked about a couple of videos ago. We had mentioned that CNH Industrial had put in a bid on GNSS Hemisphere, GNNS. And basically we're going to purchase the company, and that purchase agreement has now gone through. It was for $175 million, so you can add Hemisphere to the CNH family of companies. And again, CNH has been, they've been making acquisitions the last few years across the board. I mean, they bought Raven Industries a few years back, added Augmenta, another technology company, in March of this year. And they already owned several of the equipment manufacturers that we know and love, Case IH, New Holland, to name a few. So again, as a broad-based company that has, the big iron, the hardware, and now software and technology parts of the equation as well. I mean, they're uniting everything under their banner. So it'll be interesting to see what new acquisitions they perhaps make in the near future, and what happens when they integrate all these companies into, one kind of a standard platform.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's big news. I saw that too. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, very good. And hey, I just wanted to say also, we weren't inviting to this, but I'm told that on October 17th, which was earlier this week, there was a ribbon cutting that took place in Bloomington, Illinois. Our friends at Growmark formally moved into their new building, which was the former Country Financial building, which was also on the same basic campus where the Growmark previous building was located. So I guess they kind of moved a stone's throw away. But yeah, the ribbon cutting, I was told, took place this week, and all the Growmark folks, they employ about 500 employees. They're going to be getting all settled into their new offices. So we wish them well doing so. And next time we're in Bloomington, we'll stop by to see what the new offices look like.
Well, that's great. It's nice to have a fresh new home. Work home.
Yes. You would know about that, moving from California to El Paso not too long ago. How long has it been now, by the way? I keep forgetting.
Just over a year. And I wish I could say it was a fresh new home. It's an old dusty, needs some tender, loving care, 96-year-old.
I know those of our viewers who have followed our videos regularly probably remember you doing a few broadcasts from the broom closet, the mud room, the laundry room. So they are well aware that a lot of your home was under renovation this past year. I'm glad it's all done now, though.
Yeah, well, it's getting there. And hey, I wanted to mention, because it's fresh on my mind, yesterday, this week, I should say, we had an update Zoom call with our Women in Ag Tech ambassadors. We have a dozen women who serve as ambassadors for our new group, and we gave them an update on what we've been doing since our first in-person meeting, which was in Des Moines during Tech Hub Live. And we are planning for our second in-person meeting, which will be co-located with our upcoming Vision Conference, which is the third week of January. So I wanted to remind our viewers to swing by thevisionconference.com and check out updates to the program, speakers, agenda for the Vision Conference, which is January 22nd through the 24th in Glendale, Arizona, which is just outside of Phoenix proper. And if you go to attend on the website and you click on Women in Ag Tech, you will see information regarding the in-person meeting for Women in Ag Tech. Now, Women in Ag Tech will actually kick off on Sunday evening, January 21st, with a welcome reception and a get-together, pick up your badge kind of thing. And then on Monday morning, we will have a keynote speaker and kick off our program at 8 a.m. and conclude with Women in Ag Tech at 2 p.m., at which time the Vision Conference networking reception starts. So we'll kind of get together collectively and get the Vision Conference underway with Women in Ag Tech, those women who will be participating in Vision as well. I also wanted to mention that we have some very attractive pricing. However, these prices are only good through November 10th. So again, swing by thevisionconference.com, check out the program, check out the Women in Ag Tech tab, get more information on that. And if there's any questions anyone has regarding Women in Ag Tech, happy to answer them. You know where to find me. Call Eric. And he'll track me down.
Sounds good, Laura. And hey, by the way, since you're talking about things that we've been talking about in recent videos, I know last week you had an item regarding the European Union countries voting on the continued use of glyphosate.
Okay.
That vote was taking place just after we recorded our video last week, but I think you have an update, and unfortunately, well, I'll let you share the news. So,
Yes. So the European Commission proposed extending use of glyphosate for another 10 years. They made this proposal in September, pending approval by the EU. The EU voted on October 13th, and they actually voted down the proposed extension. However, a second vote amongst EU member countries will take place in November. I don't think I have the date, but it will take place in November. So, still a chance that that will be approved the Commission's proposal for another 10-year extension. So, I know that's something that not only we're watching closely, but since that proposed extension in September, I've seen a lot of news around that. Who's for it, who's against, the reasons why. So, big news item, but as of today, undecided as to which way it's going to go.
yeah, unfortunately, like a lot of things going on in our particular country here in Washington, D.C., it's a hurry up and wait situation. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, and we'll update our viewers, of course, mid-November once we find out more. So,
Indeed. Stay tuned.
yes. Well, Laura, something we have a little more control over directly is the end segment of our show, and that, of course, is your favorite part. It's time for Fun with Numbers.
I would say you have all the control in this equation.
Well, if you get the answer right, then the control goes back to you. So, but I have a tougher. I think it's a tougher one this week. So,
Okay.
so just be prepared. So
I'm
your
ready.
number this week, 300,000 tons. 350 tons.
5 zeros.
Yeah.
Just in case. Just in case I put it.
Well, I know sometimes you like to write these down. So, and again, for our folks following around, 300,000 tons is the number.
Okay.
So is that, Miss Laura, is 300,000 tons, A, the amount of grain currently awaiting higher water levels on the Mississippi River before shipping? Is it B, the amount of Ukrainian wheat destroyed by Russian attacks since July of this year? Is it C, the amount of carbon expected to be captured in soil through the use of cover crops in 2023? Or is it D, the amount of snow I expect to shovel this winter? And the reason I bring that up is I know that two of the things that they tell me are good they're real good hints of what kind of winter you're going to have is squirrel activity and the woolly bear caterpillars. And there was a ton of squirrels in my backyard this weekend, busily burying stuff. So more than I ever remember. And I know I did find a woolly bear yesterday when I was mowing the lawn, and they say the more black they are versus orange, the worse the winter's going to be. He only had one orange stripe on him, and the rest of him was solid black. So
Wow.
based on those little nature clues, I think it could be a hard winter. So
Yeah. So the squirrels weren't getting together to discuss the Browns game or anything like that. They
no, not that I'm aware of. They were pretty much they're burying their nuts and trying to avoid my Lucky because she does not like them in the backyard. So
I know.
So what is your guess? What do you think?
This is hard. Honestly,
I told you I did do a tough one this week. So
kind of throwing a dart at the. I think I'm going with grain awaiting shipment on the Mississippi.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
No. Actually, this, since again, we were talking international news throughout this video and started out that way, the correct answer is B. I ran across an item that said that because of 17 different attacks by Russian forces since July that targeted 6 ships and 150 ports and grain facilities in Ukraine, that an estimated 300,000 tons of wheat has been destroyed, unfortunately. So,
well, bummer that I got it wrong, and obviously, always a tragedy to. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. So,
yeah. No, I
Misty,
mean, I part of me was, when I saw the number, I thought that's a pretty high number, and then
there it is.
when I saw that it was only since July that had taken place,
Yeah,
I'm
all
like,
the
that's
more.
not that many months back. So,
Yeah, you're right.
So again, another sorrowful news item to share with our viewers.
Yeah, yep.
Well, hey, Miss Laura, again, better luck next week. We'll of course have another Fun with Numbers, and of course more news to share with our viewers. But on behalf of myself, everyone here at Crop Life, thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.